Hi, this is Mark again, and this is my YouTube video for assignment 4 on the worst 5 predictions from the 25 given in class. And I've based my 5 predictions based on the effect that the technology has had on our modern day lives and society, and I guess how incorrect the prediction turned out to be. So the first one is from Western Union, and it's about the telephone and how it will never really be used, to paraphrase. And even if we take mobile phones out of the equation for a second, just landlines have had a huge effect on the world, both in the business sector and on the personal side, of giving people the ability to communicate when they never were able to, and then cross seas and whatnot in an instant. And then on top of that, if you add mobile phones, this prediction just becomes ridiculously off. The next one is by Thomas Watson, and it's about how I think there is a world market for maybe 5 computers. And you have to keep in mind, or at least I kept in mind with this one, that at the time that this was said, computers were huge, elephantine objects that could really do very little of the computing power that they can do nowadays, comparatively at least. So I give him that credit, but at the same time, it's knowing what we know nowadays when I have a computer on my lap and a computer, slash phone in my hand, and people around the world have tablets and computers and phones and smart TVs, all devices that can compute to some extent. That just becomes potentially the most wrong one of all of these predictions. The third one is about the light bulb, and from the Stevens Institute, and how it will be a conspicuous failure. And this one is just so off because at the time, light was only during the day from the sun and at night from candles, which limited the amount of business hours. And for just normal people at home, when the lights went out, you had to go to sleep because you can only burn so many candles for so long. And it completely has revolutionized the world. Number 4 is no one will pay good money to get from Berlin to Potsdam by King William. And for this one, it's just so off because at that time, in the mid 1800s and earlier, timing was not everything, and letters took months to get to places, and people, it would take them days or weeks or months or even years sometimes, if they were sailing around the world to get from one place to another. Whereas nowadays, everything is in an instant, and you can fly across the world in a span of hours, and you can be talking to someone on the other end of the world in a span of seconds. So it's just a different world. And then lastly is the one about the machine gun and how it makes and how it will make war impossible. And the reason I said no to this one is because people say the same thing about nuclear weapons today, and at the end of the day, people will always find different ways and new ways to fight each other and kill each other, regardless of the weapons made.